I can do all things, all things, all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things, all things, all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Hello dear viewers, it is kids time. Kids, how are you?
Fine.
It's good to be here once again. Today our story is about confidence. It's about what?
Confidence.
It is about what?
Confidence.
Yes, to be confident is to be without fear, to be courageous, to face a situation. That is what it means to be confident. And children, we need to be confident. Now, a story is told. It's kind of a myth, but it's a story that long time ago, there were 4 boys. They went to look after the animals in the pasture out there. Yes. So while they were there, you know, those days they said they used to have monsters, ogres, big giants. So as the boys were playing, you know, usually when boys are together, they play.
Yes.
So as the boys were playing, somehow they lost focus of the cows. But again, when they peeped, they were saying, we can see them. They kept on playing. Oh, we can see them. They kept on playing. But when time came for them to go home, they realized the cows were not there. Wow. Now they got scared. What will mommy do to us? We are going to be beaten. We can't go home. And then they were told, they saw the footsteps of those big giants, the ogres. And they said, wow, our animals have been taken by those ogres. Oh, they were scared. And you see, who can face a giant? Who can go and face a monster? They said, we cannot. Now they cannot go face the monster. They cannot go back home and face mommy and daddy. So they started saying, one of them, me, I'm going to my auntie's place. Another one said, I'll go to my uncle's place. Another one saying, I'll go to my friend's place, because they feared going where? Home. But there's one boy who said, no, I'll not go anywhere. I'm going to face this giant, this ogre, until I get our animals and go back where? Home. He was the only one who stood, who had the confidence. And he said, I will follow these footsteps. And for sure, he followed the footsteps one, and he walked the whole day. And finally, he reached at that shed, and he spotted their animals and said, there they are. I will make sure I go with them. So he hid, and when it was night, when all the giants were asleep, he opened the gate, and he got their animals. And off he started running, and by daybreak, he had reached his home with all the animals, because this boy was what? Confident. If he was not confident, they could have lost all the animals. And so the whole village came and celebrated him, and they said this boy was confident. In the Bible, we have a similar story of Caleb and Joshua. In the book of Numbers. In the book of what? Numbers. We have Caleb and Joshua. They were sent to spy on a land. They were not the only ones. There were many. They were sent with other young people. They went to spy on a land. This was the promised land that the Israelites were to be given when they came from bondage in Egypt. So they were sent. That land was fertile. The Bible says it is a land that flows with milk and honey. Do you know milk?
Yes.
And honey?
Yes.
They say that land was flowing with milk and honey, meaning it was fertile. It was a good land. But when they went there, they said, wow, the people there were giants. They were big. And they got scared. And the city was surrounded by walls. So other men came back and reported and say, oh, the land is good for sure. But you know what? We cannot get that land. People there are giants. They will just finish us. We cannot get that land. And the walls have been built. We cannot. So they started crying. They started cursing. And they were telling Moses, why did you bring us here to be killed with these giants? You could have left us in Egypt. Or we could have died in the wilderness. We cannot face these people. they started complaining. They started saying, we want a leader who will take us back to Egypt. But Caleb and Joshua stood out with confidence and said, no, we will get this land. We will get this land. They trusted that the Lord who brought them from Egypt could not bring them just to the door of the land and let them go. They said, no, we are confident and we'll get this land. Let's see what the book of Numbers 13 and verse 30 is saying. Now this is Caleb standing with courage, with confidence. And he told people who were murmuring and telling Moses, get us a leader to take us back to Egypt. Caleb stood and said, he told people before Moses, and he says, let us go at once and take possession for that land, for we are able to overcome them. That is now Caleb standing with confidence. He said, let us go and get possession of that land because we are able to do what? To possess it. Caleb and Joshua stood and said, people, we are not going back to Egypt. We are not scared. We'll get that land. They had the confidence. They had the courage. And when they said that, for sure, some people were a bit scared. They started getting some courage. And Joshua and Caleb, for sure, led the people to conquer those enemies. And they got the promised land. So children, there is one thing we learn from the two stories. That always as children, we need to have confidence. We need to have what?
Confidence.
And who gives us confidence?
God.
God. God is the one who gives us the confidence. And the Bible have said that in the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. And what does the book say? Tell us.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Again.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, we'll meet challenges. We'll meet things that we are not able to do on our own. But when we trust in Jesus Christ, He will be our confidence. He will be our what?
Confidence.
So children, in school, when you are in school and you are studying and you see the subject is hard, remember, you can get the confidence from who?
God.
From God through Jesus Christ. If you want to play maybe an instrument, you want to do an activity and you are not able, never give up. Always believe in who? God. Because He gives us the strength to do all things. How many things?
All things.
How many things?
All things.
So, how many of you promise that from today we will be able to move on and do all things through Christ who strengthened us? We promise, and may God help us so that we will always have the strength to do all things through who? Through Christ. So we'll sing our memory verse once again. I can do all things, all things, all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things, all things, all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. And may God bless you.
Bye.